Hello, everybody. I
Hi,
want.
Chi fam.
What's up, Chichi fams? I wonder who's live right now with us. I think there's like 4 people.
Yay!
Yeah. So.
Meet you, the awesome four people.
Okay. Cool. So we're gonna get started. Man. It's been a week, Lisa.
I know,
It's been a week.
time flies. Not only is it
Yeah.
a week, but we've already completed the first quarter of 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that's
That's,
crazy.
I know.
That is insane. But today we got some good stuff for all you Chi fans out there. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and for answering the poll. You know, like you guys have been like answering the polls, helping me and Lisa out to figure out a time. I know we didn't start exactly at 7, like how all of you guys answered on the poll, but then we tried. You know, tonight there's some things going on, right, Lisa? So.
Yes, I gotta give
So
my husband some loving, guys. So, we gotta go on our Friday night date night. Next week, though, it'll be different. I told him we'll change it to 8:30 instead.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So but today, I wanted to kind of give you guys a market update, just a weekly market update from what's changed from last week. Maybe we'll make this like a weekly thing, Lisa, so that way everybody can kind of see what's going on in the market for
Absolutely.
Sac County, Placer, and El Dorado. And then we'll be answering some of y'all questions too. So if you guys got questions, uh, put them down in the live chat. It'll be great. And hey, I see Con Vangens here. You remember Con?
Yep. Hi,
Yep, he's
Con.
here. He's on the live chat.
Been
He
a
just says
while.
hey hey. So he's on. And then what? So we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna give you guys like a breakdown of a scenario. Also, if you guys were to like try to get qualified with a loan officer, these are what they look at, and Lisa's gonna be covering all of that. It's gonna be pretty cool. And then just from there, we're just gonna have a great time. We're gonna end this at 7. So we're not gonna go over. We're gonna honor everybody's time. So just FYI. But without further ado, I'm just gonna get started with this screen share, so that way you guys could start seeing how the market is like. Okay, so I'm gonna screen share right now. Okay, so we're gonna go over to search. This is what I see, by the way. This is exactly what I use, y'all. Whenever I'm searching up homes for my clients, my sellers, my buyers, I'm doing comps. This is a realtor's subscription based, like their portal, basically. So I use this. This has a lot of data, but today we're just gonna go over to the search box right here, and we're gonna be checking some boxes and showing you guys some data. Okay. And if you guys are joining us for the first time, welcome. You know, we do this. We're gonna be starting this on a weekly basis, right, Lisa? This is our
Yep.
second live stream, and if you guys are watching this on the replay, you know, share this video, like it. If you haven't been part of the Chi fams, go ahead and subscribe. Be part of the Chi fams. We have a lot of fun here. Okay, so getting back to the market, all the information right here. I'm gonna click residential, and I'm just gonna only check single family residents. And then you see where it says active right here. I'm only gonna check the active, and I'm gonna change this date. Okay, we're gonna try to figure out what the market was like just this last week. Okay, like how many active listings just from this last week. Okay, and then I'm not gonna change any of the criteria of the bedrooms. I'm just gonna keep it as a single family. But I will go to the county and put in Sacramento, El Dorado, and Placer, because that's where a lot of our subscriber here are from. So let me just put that in. So 462 active listings just this past week. Okay? So I want you guys to remember that, okay? Lisa, remember that for the viewers, okay? 462 listings right now. Okay, remember that. I'm gonna change this to a week. So that way you guys could see the difference. 144 last week. 144 active listings, Lisa, compared
Last
to
week.
compared to this week, 400. So if you guys have been watching my market update videos that I post monthly, you guys notice that I kept mentioning that new listings have been on the rise, which is good because summer is coming. Everybody's gonna be out shopping, and normally that's the time it gets busy around real estate too. And that's when sellers starts putting their homes on the market. So this is really good to know. I thought I'd share that with you guys, but let's uncheck the actives and go to pendings, okay? Maybe we'll start with the week before first, Lisa. So we'll
Okay.
go here, do this. Let's go pending. So there was 421 pendings last week. Okay, Lisa, remember that? And now I'm gonna change this. This week, 445. Not much change. Not much change at all in the pendings, which is to be expected. Homes are still in the process of being sold. That's why it's considered pending. Let's go to close. Let's go to close for last week. Okay, gotta change the dates. Let's go to close. Close for last week, there was like over 556 homes that sold. Okay, that was last week. Let's do this week's. 408. Went down a little bit. So I think some of the homes that were pending probably went back to being active. And that's probably why the sold homes are a lot lower. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing this for you guys every week just to kind of let you guys know, to keep you guys updated whether there's new homes coming on the market or not, and see if there's changes. Because when you know the data, especially as a buyer and a seller, it kind of helps you to determine how to move forward with either selling your home and how to kind of move forward with submitting an offer on a home. Is it competitive? It kind of lets you know where we're at, whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, or not. So I'm going to be doing this for you guys on a weekly basis. So look forward to that. If you guys have other suggestions you guys want me to preview for you guys, let me know. I would be more than gladly to go over and do that to you guys. So let me know. But before we move on to the next part, we got more people joining us. It's like there's this 5 in Rhyme 23. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. One subscriber here from Alameda. Hey, Alameda County is here. And then we got Guadalupe Rivera. Yes, I made it. Glad to be here while live. Yeah, we're glad you're here too, Guadalupe. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, I am so sorry. I apologize, okay? But what do you got for us, Lisa? What you got going on for us?
I got a lot of stuff going on for us today. So up first, let's talk about lending guidelines, yeah?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's talk about what's upcoming and everything like that. So what you guys can expect in the coming future and whatnot. Lending guidelines are tightening up, and they're tightening up because the lenders are unsure of how they're going to be able to sell this loan. And I know that this is a lot of the back end stuff. A lot of the times the banks don't keep your loan. What they do is they sell it off to investors and whatnot who are trying to make money off of the interest that you're paying for the loan and whatnot. And so they're afraid that the investors are going to get scared. And so they're kind of doing like a precaution type of thing. So, they're going to look at things out a lot closer about your income, your assets, and all of that other stuff. So definitely, if you go online and whatnot to try to get pre-qualified and they're telling you, okay, 5 minutes later, you get pre-qualified and whatnot. So they're only looking at one point. You want to really look at all the points that's needed for you to purchase a home. That's really important because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if your lender does it before or after. Those documentations, whatever that's needed, is going to be needed regardless. So you want to do all of that work ahead of time. Again, it's like running a marathon, guys. You want to prepare. If you really want to win this race, you're going to have to prepare. You're going to have to prep. You're going to have to, do all of that first and practice first so that when you are ready to do that sprint and whatnot, you're going to be ahead of the game instead of trying to catch up. Okay?
Yeah. So let's go over some numbers.
Ooh, yes. Fun with numbers, fun with finance. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, great, numbers, joy. But really, let me tell you, I am not a numbers person per se, but I became a numbers person because as soon as I figured out that if I put a dollar sign in front of the numbers, it changes my lifestyle. It
Yeah.
changes how I'm able to take care of my family. It changes how much fun I get to have with my family and say, hey, I get to go to Disneyland this week, or I get to go on vacation next week with my family. So these numbers are here so that you can also enjoy that type of lifestyle or even a better one. Okay, so last week we had somebody that asked, hey, can you go ahead and price up my scenario like this? And I was hesitant because it is my fiduciary responsibility to also keep your information confidential. So when
Yeah.
you're asking me this up front on the live show and whatnot, I'd love to do that for you just on the side so that, you know, we can make sure that we delve into every aspect to make sure that it's financially beneficial, not to the person next to you, but to you. Okay, it's very catered. But I did create kind of like a simplified version, kind of like a basic generic kind of thing so that you can kind of see what those numbers kind of look like. Okay, a lot of times when people come to Chia and I, they're always thinking, well, do I even qualify? Is my credit good enough? And those types of questions that makes them a little bit more nervous, a little bit more apprehensive. And, you know, we want to show you what those numbers may look like. So the average household income in Sacramento right now is sitting at about 91,000, okay? And I'm going to show you numbers based on somebody that is making $15 an hour. Their significant other is also making $15 an hour. So really the household income combined is only, you know, a little shy of 63,000. So
Okay.
even with that, if you have a credit score of above 740, I'm actually going to go ahead and screen share. Is that okay right now, Chia?
Yep. Go for it.
Okay, awesome. Oop, I think I did something wrong. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they have grace for you.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'm new to this, so bear with me, okay? All right. So when you look at these numbers, this is based on somebody that has a credit score of 740. Again, it's very generic. If you don't have that yet, don't worry about it. We'll help you get to that point, okay? So these, if you're a first-time buyer, the four most common programs that is most financial beneficial is the down payment assistance program. It does come in an FHA form, the one that we have. And we have the regular FHA, the conventional 3% down, and that's one is specific only for first-time buyers. This one is also specific for first-time buyers. The second option is not for first-time buyers only, okay? So we'll talk about that, you know, at another session, but I'm gonna go over all these numbers. And this one is a conventional 5% down. You do not have to be first-time buyer for this one either, okay? So with somebody making $15 an hour and their significant other making $15 an hour and they have no other debt, no car loan, no student loan, no credit cards and whatnot, this is the qualification. This is the
Lisa,
buying
maybe you
power.
could zoom in a little bit so that way they could
Okay,
see it too on whichever column you're talking about.
sure. Is this better to you?
A little bit more. Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and talk about this first column here, okay? Where it's down payment assistance. Let me widen it out a little so that you can see. This is the purchase price of 330. This is the loan amount. This is the down payment. You're only required to do 3.5% down. This is down payment assistance. So I'll get to where that assistance is going to be shortly. Okay. The down payment assistance program that we have right now, it's not free money. It is a second loan that you'll see right here. So the monthly payment, if you are purchasing at 330, is going to be roughly about 2264. This is with all of your principal, your interest, property tax insurance, mortgage insurance, the whole shebang. Okay, that's what your monthly payment is. This is where the assistance comes in. Okay, well, before I get there, let me talk a little bit about the closing cost as well. The origination is based on if you want to buy down any interest rates or whatnot. I'm going to do it. This is what's called at par. It doesn't cost you anything to go into it and whatnot. The credit reporting fees. These here are the lender fees. Okay. This is typical across the board and whatnot. Some may be a little bit less, some may be a little bit more. The title and escrow fees. This is the third party fees, all of this right here is the third party fees. Those are the people that make sure that your agent, myself, or the listing agent, the seller, everybody's all doing what they're supposed to be doing, okay? And the seller is the people who choose these fees. So these absolutely can fluctuate. This is the reason why I'm going to show you this is just a rough estimate, okay? The government fees and whatnot, property tax, insurance, all of that stuff that you do have to pay up front, it comes out to be roughly a little shy of $9,100. I share this with you because there's going to be a lot of times when you're shopping online for lenders or other realtors who so desperately want your business that they're going to tell you, oh yeah, it's 0% down, you don't have to put anything in. But then they don't really check under the hood and tell you, it's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to have to pay property tax. Of course you're going to have to pay home insurance. Why would you buy a car without having insurance, let alone a house, right?
Right.
So the reason why it's a little bit higher is because I want you to have leverage. And this is one of the secrets, right? On how do you win your offer better? And not only are you going to have a great agent to do this for you, but you also have to understand what are you going to come into the table. Last week there was a home that went pending like 3 days, right, Chia? In Citrus Heights, there was about 175 offers on this house.
Yeah, there was
this
a lot.
week, there was one, for those of you in the Bay Area, the person that from Alameda, there was one in Cupertino that went over $1 million, on the listing price, and there was more than 100 offers on this house. So how do you stand out when you try to go to Mr. Seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I really want your house. Don't worry about the other 50 people that want your house as well. Well, this is one of the ways as well where you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I want your house so much. And the way I'm going to stand out is not only am I going to pay for my closing costs, I'm also going to pay for your closing costs. Do you have to? No, you don't have to do it that way, but at the end of the day, if you're putting in offers that aren't as competitive and you're not having a house, it kind of defeats the purpose of you trying to be a homeowner to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, if anybody could get you any closing cost credits, it'd be Chia. I've seen him do it numerous times. I don't want you to have the expectation coming in. I want you to be fully prepared. And if any closing cost credits that you're going to get, that's going to be gravy. That's going to be money saved up. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. But again, I want you to come in and be very, very fully prepared. So that's the reason why we're talking about numbers today. Okay. And hopefully making it a lot more fun and alleviate a lot of the questions and the anxiety of whether or not you can or can't qualify. Okay.
Yeah.
So with a go ahead. Sorry, Chia.
Yeah, and another thing too is when you guys are looking at these charts from one of your loan specialists, make sure that you guys take these numbers and like as a buffer, because a lot of times if the loan officer is doing a good job, he or she should be accounting for like higher numbers to account and just to be a buffer for you, because the last thing you want is to be quoted, let's say you only needed $15,000 of total cash to close, and that was a quote that you were given to, but then when it came down to the final numbers, it ended up coming back a little bit more and you only saved for 15,000. Then like that'll be scary, right? You just remove all contingencies and then now you're at the signing table and you don't have enough funds. I've seen and heard that before from other people. And so this is like real life scenario stuff. You got to be very careful when you look and review these estimates, because you got to ask and make sure that your loan specialist is buffering for extra additional costs, because like what Lisa said, sometimes there are those arrogant sellers that will not give you any credit. They will not reduce the purchase price, and now everything is coming out of your pocket, and you're going to need to make sure that you're able to handle that. So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Chia. Thank you so much for adding to that, because it's really, really true. I mean, a lot of people are going to want to sell you everything so beautifully and so prettily because, again, it's, commission in their pockets and whatnot. I'm going to be honest up front and just let you know this is what you want to prepare for. And if you don't need it, great. The money goes back to you. So,
Right.
It's a win-win situation for you to be fully prepared. Okay. So let's go back to this number right here, the 330. Guys, for this down payment assistance program, basically you're coming in with less than $10,000 for somebody else to give you $300,000 or $324,000. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty incredible. Where you're putting only 3.5% down, and somebody else is giving you 96.5% down.
Yeah.
So if you're asking yourself whether or not you qualify or whether or not you can do this, the average rent in Sacramento right now is already $2,000. So
Man,
this
it's
is pretty
crazy.
much this $9,000 right here, first month, last month, and security deposit, right?
Yeah.
So you can ask yourself whether or not it's the right time for you to buy. So let's go ahead and go to the next column again. This is
FHA.
for this is for two people making only $15 an hour. On
Man.
the second option, if you go to regular FHA, it bumps up your buying power because the interest rate is lower now. Okay, for down payment assistance, the interest rate is always going to be higher just because there's less skin in the game, and the banks want to secure their investment, so they're going to charge a little bit more. Okay, so the second option is the FHA one. Okay, your monthly payment is going to be roughly $2,400, and again, you're putting in roughly about a little shy of $2,400, or I'm sorry, $24,000. Okay, so for $24,000, you're getting a loan for almost $400,000, working $15 an hour, both parties in your household. Okay, for conventional, you can go up to $380. This is what your monthly payment is going to look like. If your credit is great, your mortgage insurance is going to be a little lower. And because it is a conventional loans, the interest rates are higher than FHA. And the reason being is because FHA also has a mortgage insurance that will stay on the life of your loan. For conventionals, once your home builds equity of at least 20% and you've had the loan for at least 2 years, you can call into your lender and get rid of this without having to refinance. If you want more information on that, we'll do another segment on that. Okay? So I'm
Yeah.
going to move forward. So what you'll need here is a little shy of 21,000, and again, to get you a home that's 380. Chia, what is the average home price in Sacramento right now?
Man, if you want something decent in a decent location, at least 350, close to 400K around there.
So 350 to 400, you're making $15 an hour, both you and your significant other, and you're able to do this. How amazing is that?
Man.
You know why this is amazing too? Is because you still can do this in Sacramento, in the Bay Area. My Alameda person that's watching right now, you know, you probably can get a mobile home with this, which is not a bad thing,
That's
but
so crazy.
it's a huge, huge price difference. And this is the reason why our home prices in Sacramento are going up so high, because Bay Area people are knowing this. They're seeing us, they're seeing other people talk about this, and they're migrating up. But you guys have the inside scoop. You've lived here. You know these neighborhoods backwards and forwards. So take advantage of that knowledge and move forward with that. If you are putting 5% down, you can go all the way up to 465. This is what your monthly payment is going to look like, and this is what your cash out of pocket. And again, a little shy of 34,000 gets you almost a $500,000 property. How does a $500,000 property in Sacramento look like, Chia?
Oh man, you're gonna be in a really nice area.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're gonna be in a really, really, really nice area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I always like to say too, Lisa, that
Mm-hmm.
when you receive a quote like this from your loan specialist, you don't want to necessarily, because let's say this is your max pre-approval amount. You don't want to look at homes right at the max purchase price of 500K if that's what you're qualified for, because then you're not going to leave any room for yourself to buffer now to compete. Because right now, if you guys been watching my market update videos, you guys know I always say everybody is overbidding at least 20 to 30, sometimes even 50 to $100,000 above asking. Is it going to appraise? We already know it's not going to appraise, but there are crazy people out there, right, Lisa, that are willing to pay the difference in cash. So because of that, right, I think that it's important to know that when you know your maximum budget purchase price, don't shop at that price unless you find a home that's been on the market for 2 months. Nobody wants it. Then yeah, go ahead and look at a home at that price point. But if it's been on the market for only less than 7 days, I suggest reducing that shopping window price 30,000 below your maximum bidding, so that way you have room to compete. Because the last thing you want is to go out with your agent looking at hundreds of homes, submitting hundreds of offers, and none of them were getting accepted because you're getting outbid because you did not leave yourself buffer because you didn't listen to this live stream advice. So
Basically.
that's what I would recommend. And another thing too that what I like about these columns, all these different comparison quotes that you give all of these clients, Lisa, is you let them know what they're qualified for and all their options. You lay it all out on the table, right? Down payment
Yeah.
assistance for your current situation, Mr. Buyer, is like this. Regular FHA, it's like this. Conventional low down payment is like this. High down payment, this is what you're gonna get. So that's what I kind of like. And if your loan specialist is not doing that for you, ask them to do that for you because you owe it to yourself. They already checked
Yeah.
your credit. They already pulled a inquiry on your credit. You are entitled to that option. You want, because you want to shop around and make sure that you have the best option available to you, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be paying for the mortgage, not your lender, not your agent, you. So shop around, compare all your options, and pick and choose what's the best option for you.
Correct. And that's the thing, when you guys go online and everything, it's very easy. It's very, very quick. You can probably get it in 5-10 minutes and whatnot. It makes it very super exciting to hear, oh yeah, you're pre-qualified, right? But again, if you don't have an actual person strategizing for you, it could end up costing you a heck of a lot more. So you want to really, this is a really big deal. This is a really important time of your life.
Yeah.
It's really, really exciting, but it could also be a nightmare, and we don't want that. And we want to share this with you so you can avoid these pitfalls, so that you can quit yourself, not just for this one transaction, but for your future as well. Okay.
Right.
So Chia, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and share another screen. And this is the budget analysis. And I know a lot of people don't do this. I don't know why. I like to do this because, again, I wasn't a numbers person. I need to visually see it to understand why it makes sense for me. So I hope
Yeah.
that this makes sense for you too. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. And by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, when I get super excited about sharing something,
You talk
sometimes
too fast.
I do talk fast. So please tell me to slow down, because when I get excited, I don't realize it. Okay. All right. So this is the budget analysis. So let's go back. This is the same people who are making $15 an hour, which means their gross income is roughly about $2,600. Let's just assume that the tax bracket is 25%. So this is their take home and whatnot for both parties. So the combined total is $3,900. So let's go, based on what I said earlier, the maximum one when you're buying more and whatnot, it's roughly about $2,600. This is rough estimate of all of the bills and whatnot. And again, no car payment, no credit cards, no Netflix, no other stuff, other fun stuff. And this is the average food, and this is the average gas. So even though on paper, okay, the bank will say, oh yeah, you qualify because based on your gross income and everything like that. But look at here, your total savings is in a negative. So if you're running in a negative, can you imagine how stressed out you would be on a monthly basis if that was the case and you did that max out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go ahead and go back. Let's just say if we pick a lesser option, okay, buy the 380 house instead of the 465, okay, and your monthly payment just dropped for 300. Now you're cash positive. Not a whole
This is
lot,
so cool.
but at least it's good. And in this situation, if you have family members that are living with you that are paying rent for you, awesome. This would be a good, choice still and everything like that. Otherwise, let's go down a little bit. Your first home, your starter home, most of the time it's not going to be your forever home. So let's start you so that you're not building wealth for somebody else who's, getting money off of your rent. You're building it for yourself. And later on, you can probably rent that out or sell it and upgrade as well. Okay. So let's bump this up a little bit with the same numbers that I shared with you on what your purchase qualification are. Let's just say you make $18 an hour and your significant other also makes $18 an hour, okay? And now you get to do that $465 price. Same thing. Now you get Netflix, now you get Hulu, now you also get $100. Well, this is more of like a financial diet that I'm putting on for you, okay? So if you follow this guideline and everything like that, even making $18 an hour, that comes out to be in a household, if you both of you make that much, a little shy of 75,000, which again is still below
The
the
screen is
average in
cut out.
Sacramento of 91, right? It's still below. And again, this is with no other debts and whatnot, okay? Now your cash flow is about 370. Your potential is 370 savings. In 3 months, you'll have an extra $1,000. In 6 months, you'll have a little over 2,000. 12 months, a little over 4,000. And in 2 years, not only are you going to save almost $9,000, you're building this wealth portfolio for yourself. Take that money and invest it into, your retirement funds and whatnot. So you got two ways to save you money, which is already building your wealth, and then also make you money, which is building you more wealth. And again, this is just with two people making $18 an hour. How does that look?
Man, that's crazy.
That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
So
crazy.
a lot of times when people feel that they can't do something, okay, so I had to change my mindset a few years ago. Can't, to me, if you bring me a can't, I'm going to say challenged, accepted, not turned away. So I hope that today you're going to turn that can't of, okay, I really can't do this, I really don't think I can, I really don't think I deserve it. You absolutely do, and you can totally, completely do it. So I hope that this chart today will allow you to see that. So I'm going to turn it back to Chia. If anybody has any questions, we're here to answer them all.
You know what I like about this chart right here too, Lisa, is
Mm-hmm.
you forgot to also include on there like the equity or the potential,
Yeah,
right? The equity potential of the house that they're gonna be buying,
correct.
right? And like that's a real thing too. Like when you become a homeowner, you do actually get to reap that benefit. And maybe you're a savvy investor. You probably want to buy your first gig. Maybe you buy it, you live in it for a year, and then now you rent it out. Man, that's more cash flow now, right?
Absolutely.
And then you continue that. You buy another home. So there's a lot of like potential opportunities for you to be able to build wealth and build your cash flow with real estate. But then with us saying that though, like we don't want you guys to get the idea that you should buy. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to become a homeowner, but at the same time, like if you're not ready for it, don't shoot yourself in the foot. It just takes time, like what Lisa said. Like if you need to sacrifice some budget for your personal finance situation, then do it. Like go out there and like start saving money little by little. And you guys saw the chart that Lisa put up. You don't need much. There's down payment assistance that will assist you on your first purchase. Like I know this guy. We met through social media, and he bought his first investment property. It was a duplex through a down payment assistance program. It was through down payment assistance program, and from there, Lisa, he was able to leverage that because the second tenant that he was renting the unit to was paying for his mortgage.
Isn't that
Now
amazing?
that's crazy, right? And
Yeah.
s- and so he was sharing this with me a couple months ago, and I was just like, man, that's crazy. But then like that is like the potential when you are trying to invest yourself into becoming a homeowner is that. But yes, everybody's timing is different. It may take you like a year. It may take you 4 years. It may take you a couple months. It's okay. But if you're not speaking with a loan specialist that's local that you want to work with to help with you with a game plan, it's gonna be hard to do it on your own because you're not gonna know what to do. It's
Right.
kind of like it's kind of like me saying, man, I need to take my wisdom teeth off. I could probably do it. It'll hurt, but I would rather take it to like a dentist and just have them do it because they can numb it. They can put me in a comfortable chair, give me some sunglasses so that way whenever they shine that light on my mouth, I don't get blinded. I take it to a specialist. So you want to do the same thing too. Just speak to a specialist so that way they could look at your scenario and tell you you need to do A, B, Z, A, P, A, B, C, D, and E, and then you be set. It's gonna take you about 5 months, and you be good to go. And as long as you follow that game plan, you be good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to also reiterate, Chi and I, we don't find ourselves as just a realtor specialist or a lender. We're your coach. We're your cheerleader. We rooting for you. We're right
Yeah.
there on the sideline, and we want you to win this race because it's such a beautiful thing. I don't know about you, but every time I go see a wedding, even though I've been to, I don't know, at least 100 weddings in my lifetime and whatnot, it makes me cry every single time when I see two beautiful souls fall in love. Well, this is what we do for your house. It's not like we're watching you fall in love with the house. We're watching you fall in love with your dream, with your
The
goal, with
process.
your destination that you were like, okay, I was once here and now I'm here. And I'm going to share with you a story of mine. We're closing on another client of mine. I've been working with her for 6 years. The first 2 years was building her credit because she was a new mom and whatnot. She went back to school and she racked up a lot of debt, and that's okay. That's normal. That's life, okay? So I got her to get into that point 2 years later and whatnot. She bought her first home with the down payment assistance program. She didn't know how she was going to come out with it. So that program really did help her. 2 years later, her house already appreciated by $150,000. So now instead of just saying, okay, how much is this going to be? Okay, so if I cash out and I get this X, Y amount, and she's asking me, I was like, okay, well, I have 25% now, I have 30% now because of all the savings, not only that she accumulated in her house, but also on the side that she's not, paying to rent and paying somebody else to do it. And I'm so,
Mm.
so super proud of her. And I know that that could happen for anybody. You just need to make sure that you equip yourself with the right team that really honestly wants to do that and
Yeah.
wants to be a part of that journey with you.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly right. You need a team, and I think that answers one of the Chichi fam's comments on the live chat. They 5N Rhyme 23 said, "What tools do you recommend to find a loan specialist and real estate agent?" I would say interview a few. If you don't have any friends or family that's utilized a specialist before and you're the first, I would say interview a few through Zillow, Realtor.com. But what's really important that you gotta look out for is the character, the relationship. Do you like that person? Because let me tell you, okay, when you are working with a specialist, whether it's a loan officer or a real estate agent, you're gonna be with it for a couple of months, maybe years, depending on how quick you find your home. And if you don't like that person, man, let me tell you, the process of finding your home or even selling your home is gonna be so dreadful. You're gonna hate the process of buying. You're never gonna want to do it again. You're gonna feel jaded. So I would recommend interviewing a few if you don't already have some recommendations from friends and family. Interview a few from Zillow.com, Realtor.com, and find out if you like them. And
Right.
if you feel like they're just sugarcoating a lot of things, or you feel like they're just trying to earn a pretty penny from you, then that's probably not the person for you. Because especially first-time home buyers, you want somebody that has the heart of a teacher, that's patient with you, because it's your first time buying a home. You're gonna have a lot of questions. You're gonna be overwhelmed, and you're gonna need somebody to give you those information that you don't even know how to ask. So that's so important. So that way it doesn't ruin your experience. And then let's answer another comment here, um, from Guadalupe. Crazy, I am almost at my 2 year mark on my home in July. We are expecting to sell around 430K, and we bought it for 355. Wow, that's crazy. But I believe you. But we are scared where we want to be because it's priced out for us now. I would say this, Guadalupe. When you sell your home, make sure you have plan B. Make sure you don't just sell it and then now you don't have a home, you're under a bridge. Don't do that. Okay? Make your sale contingent upon you finding your new home. And if you don't find a new home, you don't sell your home. And then you let all the buyers know that you're in that situation and those are your terms. Right now, we are in a seller's market. You have that leverage. You are in control of that. So you could straight up let your agent know to put that in the term that selling your home is going to be contingent upon you finding your new home. And yeah, if you feel that it is priced out where you want to be, then maybe consult with your agent to see if it's really a good time for you to sell right now. if that's really, really where you want to be. Otherwise, you might have to sacrifice location. I always like to say, if your budget doesn't allow you to get everything you want in your home, then that means you have to sacrifice something. If you're not
Right.
willing to sacrifice anything, then maybe you might want to wait. It's
Chia, may,
okay.
Chia,
Yeah.
may I add on to that a little bit?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, again, transition is scary. Moving sometimes can be, nerve-wracking and everything like that. When, especially when you don't know what your true next step is going to be. And I know
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of agents, and one of the tactics right now is to remove all contingencies. And yes, it looks very attractive to a seller, but you're putting yourself in a predicament. And I don't ever really recommend that, and I don't want to put anyone in a desperate situation where they feel that that's the only way that they have to do it. Here's the other reason why you got to choose the right team when you interview them. Absolutely interview somebody for the job of being your listing agent, for the job of being your lender, and make sure that they break these numbers down for you so that you know point blank what everything is, the good, bad, and the ugly. You want to know all of that up front. And the reason why that's important too is that you want an agent that has the guts and the courage to stand by and protect you, not just to win the offer, but to truly protect your financial well-being, so that you can continue with this situation with more ease and with more comfort.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's so important, like going back to what I was saying earlier, it's so important that the person that you're working with, helping you buy your first home, working with you on this your journey, you gotta like the person. If you don't like the person and you're always butting heads, man, you are gonna hate this process. This process can either be fun, frustrating, or a nightmare very, very quickly, and it all depends on the person that you're working with. So
Right.
that's my ultimate tip for you when you're interviewing your specialist to do the job for you. Make sure you like that person. Like, ask yourself, would you invite this person over for dinner? I mean, of course, after COVID, but then, like, would you go have lunch with this person? If the answer is no, there you go.
Exactly. I mean, you got to just ask yourself too. It's just like being in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
If Would you marry the person you don't like? So when in this process, Chia said it's 2 to 4 months. I've been working with people for like three,
Oh,
four
yeah.
years, and then after that,
Mm-hmm.
we become forever friends, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, you want that relationship that's very, very, special. My realtor partners like Chia, I always say you guys are more relators than realtors if you're good, right? Because you really got to relate to what really works best for each and every single person.
Yeah, for sure. So let's move on to the next segment then, okay? I remember
Sure.
that text message I sent to you about the guideline being tightened for lenders right now, for
Yes.
buyers. Can you
Yes.
share a little bit about what the heck that's all about? Because I think that's important for first-time homebuyers to know about.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share that spreadsheet again for you guys. Okay, give me just a moment here.
Yep. So
Okay.
the reason I wanted Lisa to share this with all of you guys is because, I think it's important to know all the guideline changes, because I get so many buyers that will tell me, Chia, like, why is this lender asking me for a arm and a leg? It
Yeah.
was never like this in '07, '08.
Hmm.
Well, that's why it crashed in '07, '08. And
Yeah.
so lenders learn from that, and they create a really, really stringent guideline now, because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that you're able to afford it. Okay, so just know that your lender, again, if they have your best interests at heart, they will be looking out for you and telling you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Correct,
Unfortunately,
correct.
okay,
And again, that comes with courage, conviction, and also integrity, right, Chia?
right?
Because at the end of the day, anybody can sell you, all the beautiful things in the world and whatnot, but not everybody's going to want to share with you all the other stuff that's under the hood that I mentioned earlier. So you guys see that door back there, right? That's just a regular closet. That's not a safe. That's not money that's kept in there or anything like that. So it's the same thing with the bank. They don't have a vault really that actually has that. So
What bank? I can't even see anything on your screen.
oh yeah,
I
sorry.
can't even see anything on your screen. What bank? I want to see it.
Uh, So,
I'll be
okay,
the judge of
I
that.
thought I'm thinking that you guys can see my background as well, but are you only seeing the spreadsheet right
I'm
now?
only seeing the spreadsheet right now.
Oh, okay, well that makes sense. All right, guys, I'm learning, okay? Bear with me here. So I'm gonna go to the spreadsheet and whatnot again. And one of the reasons why the guidelines did tighten up, and I tell everybody at this point, I want to do everything under the sun except for your DNA sample, okay? So the reason why is when we looking at even just the down payment assistance program, and again, you're asking somebody to give you $324,000 and you're asking, I was like, can I do it, Mr. Banker? And I just have $9,000. Can you front me the rest? Yes, they can do it, but they want to secure their investments. And they want to say, okay, we're going to make money. We're going to trust that eventually you're going to pay us back and then some interest so that we can stay in business, right? And even if you're not utilizing the down payment assistance, think about it, guys. 24,000. That's less than an average car right now. And
Mm,
it's going to get you almost $400,000. Okay? And when you're looking at all these numbers right here, how much skin in the game, even this one has the most skin in the game, it's 5%. You're asking the lender to give you 95%. You're just going to bring in 5%. And this
yep.
is one of the reasons why, you hear that saying, build money on somebody else's wealth, right?
Yep.
So you're leveraging the bank's wealth. You're asking, it's like, hey, so is it cool? Is it cool that you give me 95% and I just put 5% down? They're tightening up because they gotta secure their investments and they gotta say, hey, well, when I make money off of your loan and whatnot, eventually down the line, when I make up all this money and everything like that, because it takes some time for the bank to recoup that cost, right, up front. They're going to take that money and they're going to reinvest it and do other loans. Now, the reason why it's even tightening up more is because last year, okay, there was the whole forbearance situation where if people weren't able to pay for their mortgage, they can apply for forbearance. But some banks will say, okay,
Mm,
great, you don't have to pay for the next 6 months and everything like that. We'll just put whatever you owe at the end of the loan. So, instead of your loan now only being 30 years, it'll be 31 and a half years, okay? Something like that to help with the whole pandemic and whatnot. Because that came into fold and everything like that, all that money that they're not getting during that time, they still have to pay for it. It's not like, again, it's not like money that's in their vault. Let me go ahead and close this. Give me just a moment here. Sorry, I see myself on camera, so I'm assuming you guys see me too,
now
but I'm
we see
sorry.
you. Yeah, we see
Yeah.
yourself.
So that door right there. Oop, right there. Oop, right there.
You sure that's not a
That's just a
bank?
regular closet, guys. This is a regular closet. It's really super messy. I shoved everything there and whatnot. That's my junk closet and whatnot. So it's the same thing with the bank. They don't have something like that. In order for them to make money, they got to continue to to give more loans to make that interest off of that. They take that interest to give more loans to more people and whatnot, and it
Hmm.
just moves forward and whatnot. Okay, so they have to tighten that up. Just think about yourself. If you had $1 million and your Uncle Bob says, hey, can I borrow that money? You're gonna ask him, like, well, how are you gonna pay me back? And for that $1 million, I could go into Bitcoin. I could put it in the stock market and make a lot more money. What's
Yeah.
the incentive? What's my incentive to want to give that money to you, right?
Right.
So the banks will ask these questions and say, okay, you're solid, you have a really, really good job, you have a great history of paying off your debt and everything like that. So you're right. I'm going to trust that you're going to pay me back and you're going to make me lots of money. So I'm going to front you the money first so that you can make money and build wealth that way. It's a win-win situation for the bank. It's a win-win situation for you.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I think a lot of people don't really understand that banks are not in the business for selling homes. I am.
Yeah.
I'm in the business to help you buy and sell a home. I'm in that business. I'm not in the business of selling loans. Banks are. The vice versa is true because like banks, that's how they make their money. That's why they charge for all these interest, all these back fees, admin fees, etc. The borrowing fees. You know, they do that because they have to make money somehow, so that way they can lend more money to help more people that are buying a home. And you just brought up a pretty good point that reminded me about down payment assistance. Down payment assistance, if you're lucky enough to get to a point where you come out with $0, like one of our lucky clients before, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's $0 for you at that moment, it's still, it's not really free money, you know?
Yeah.
You're still paying that back somehow, some way, unless it's a grant. But these associations that are giving you that down payment assistance money, they are like, they're really just, they have to go and get sponsors. They have to go and get sponsors. They have to go and get people to like give them donations so that they can give you money. And they're a nonprofit organization, but then they need to also make money back from you so that they could go and help more people get that same program that they just gave you. So that that person could have the same opportunity to utilize down payment assistance to become a homeowner as well. So I want you guys to understand that that's how the world works. It's not just they got loads of money, money comes from the sky and they can just give it to me now. Why not just give it to me now? It doesn't work that way. You know, money has to flow, and that's just reality. But yeah,
That's the gist of it.
that is the gist of it. And I hope you guys are having fun. I am. Lisa, you having fun?
Yeah.
Oh man, it came by quick. Almost
Yeah.
an hour already. It came by so quick. Let's
I don't
read
know about you
some
guys, but money is always fun.
to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read some comments. Okay, 5 in rhyme 23. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Will y'all have another live stream next Friday at 6? Um, so everybody voted for 7 from the poll. Majority. So I don't know, Lisa. 6 again? 7, 6, 7. Do
It's
you
up to
guys?
the audience. It's
You
up
know,
to
like
the audience. If
we're
you,
trying to make this work for you guys. We don't want to come on during a time when nobody's available. Of course, it's gonna defeat the purpose because the reason why we're doing this live stream is because we want to engage with all you guys. We just want to answer questions because there's hundreds of questions and sometimes it's the same questions. So by us answering that, hopefully it answers multiple people. So that's why we do this, and you know it's fun. You know, like this is we are gonna be doing this next Friday. As far as 6 o'clock, I don't know. Maybe I'll put another poll, 6 or 7. You guys let me know from the Chi fans what you guys want to do, and then we will accommodate from there. Okay? Oh, they're saying 7. 7 works. Money, fun as long as you have it. Not fun when broke people like me. Oh my gosh.
well,
You
that's
won't
the
be
reason
broke for
why.
long.
Exactly. I mean, this is the reason why we want to build this to see that it's not, if you're not there where my chart is and whatnot, it's okay. We can help build you there. Not everybody that comes to us is here yet anyway. So,
Right.
come speak to us or speak to a specialist and whatnot to help you really divulge your numbers and whatnot and see what is good for you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys more about one of my last videos that I made. Okay, because it was about a seller getting not getting evicted, not leaving his or her home after the sale. I know a lot of you guys have watched that video. If you guys haven't, I'll put it in the description links below after the live stream. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and kind of get your take on this, Lisa, because
Yeah.
your hubby went through something similar today, right? It wasn't exactly a
Yeah.
seller, but let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Oh my goodness.
So, anyways, like long story short about the whole video, after the close of escrow, the seller was supposed to get out, but they didn't. So the home was already transferred over to the new owners, and the old sellers did not want to leave, and so the home closed, and they couldn't even get their home, and they can't do anything about it because of the eviction moratorium, and it's been extended in California, so that's even crazier, and that's why we always like to say if you're buying a home right now, make sure if you're giving rent back to the sellers, they better leave. And if you're afraid and you don't really trust that the sellers are gonna leave, then don't close escrow.
Yeah.
Extend the escrow. If they need 30 days and the original escrow date was 30-day close, then make it a 60-day escrow. If it's 60 days that they need to get out, make it a 90-day. Because again, you do not want to be that buyer where the home transfers to you and you don't have a place to go because that original seller doesn't want to leave and you can't kick them out because of the eviction moratorium. So can you
Exactly.
Can you share a little bit about what happened with your hubby?
So my hubby actually takes care of bank-owned properties and whatnot, and he actually still here. We're supposed to be going to date night at 7:30, and I'm like, all right, dude, I hope everything is okay. So he goes in, and this is a very sad situation.
Yeah.
So the person had passed away and everything like that, and they didn't have a will, they didn't have a trust, so the house went to probate, and of course, because nobody was notified because he didn't have a will, he didn't have anything so the bank can notify other people and whatnot. So unfortunately, the property tax wasn't paid for over 2 years. The mortgage wasn't paid for 2 years, so the bank took over, and the family member was still living there. And they're assuming that because they're the children of the deceased person, that they automatically get this home. And it's so sad. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Nobody wants this. They come out, they're very, very aggressive because they're pissed off. They're thinking that this really, truly is their home and whatnot, which is very understandable. It's a tough time when somebody passes away and this situation happens. But unfortunately, the bank is like, we're losing so much money in this house. We gotta get rid of this house. And that's when my husband came in, and he's trying to go out and whatnot. They come in, they got their bulletproof vests and everything like that, and they're very aggressive with him. And he's still there after, I think this is going on 7 hours now.
He's
So
still there?
he's still there. He's still there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
So I'm a little bit nervous.
So,
I'm
so here's my thing.
yeah.
Because of the eviction moratorium going on, they're gonna have issues getting that squatter out.
Well, they actually already evicted them. So the
How did
sheriff
that?
already came.
How was that possible?
So their situation is very different because again, they've been here for over 2 years. Okay, and this actually started way before the pandemic. That's why. So it was already in
Oh.
process. Okay, and even though it's already in process, it's over 2 years already. Okay, and
Oh.
it's really crazy. They actually were already evicted and whatnot, and the original owners, I guess they had a tenant there. I'm not exactly sure how that. They were very aggressive at that time too. They went out and everything like that. So the kids moved in about 2 weeks ago. They pretty much, broke in, changed the locks, did everything, and because it's a bank to own, my husband has to prepare for it to be sold. He has to clean it all out. He has to,
Yeah.
it's not in the greatest condition, and right now that's what he's doing. The sheriff came out and the police department was there. You already, see it a few hours ago, Chia, on his Facebook and whatnot, and he's still
Yeah.
dealing with it. He hasn't texted me. He hasn't said, okay, get ready. We're going to go.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm just hoping that everything's okay.
Yeah, like I hope he's okay, and I hope he doesn't get hurt, because when it comes to a
Yeah.
situation like that, it can get pretty feisty,
Yep.
Because you
Not
don't
all
know
of
what
real
that
estate is glamorous.
exactly. Like we were
Yep.
just talking about this, right? We were just talking about this with what about recent clients that closed a few months ago? Remember, we
Hmm.
did the final walkthrough, and this is why you do final walkthroughs. Okay, this is why I do final walkthroughs with all my buyers. We did the final walkthrough, Lisa, and when we did the final walkthrough, the seller's tenant did not let us in. She goes, "This is my home. You're not coming in." And we're like, "Wait, didn't your agent tell you that we were coming to do our final walkthrough? It's closing next week." The tenant goes, "I don't care." So, anyways, she doesn't open the door. She closes the door, and then she doesn't let us in. I called the agent, and I told the agent, "Hey, look, if this is what it's gonna be, you can't control your tenant, or your seller can't control their tenant and get them out before the sale. We're not gonna close next week. We're gonna
Right.
extend. So just FYI, we're gonna have to come back, and since they're still here, we know the house is not clean. So
Right.
they better clean the house. We're gonna come back for a final walkthrough." So we did. We had to extend escrow, and what it came down to was the seller had to end up paying the tenant to move out.
Right.
The
And
seller, and it was so unfortunate.
it is unfortunate. And Gia, I really want to let our viewers know that this is the reason why having such a great team is so important. Somebody that has your back, because I've seen it before where my client who works with an agent that is happens to be somebody that I don't know. They choose somebody else. We weren't really a team. We just got paired together and whatnot, and they weren't communicating with me. Well, what ended up happening is when you have an agent that doesn't look at your well-being, and it was like, well, no, this transaction has to close. I have bills I have to pay, and I need to get paid and whatnot. They're not going to look for your best interest. They're not going to tell you, it's like, oh, it's cool. It's all right. You have a tenant in there. It's all right. They'll eventually move.
Right.
You don't want that. You want somebody that has the courage to say, no, that's not right, who protects
Exactly.
your money as if it's their money too. And that's what we do.
Yeah, it's so important, I think that's a good topic to talk about too before we close this off. You have time?
Yeah, now I do.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, like I think a lot of times I get buyers or people ask me like, Chia, why do you like recommend buyers to your preferred lender, or vice versa? Lisa, why do you refer your clients to your preferred agent? And it's simple, teamwork. We already been working with each other for so many years. We know how each other. We know our routines. We know that. I know that Lisa's gonna take care of my clients, and she vice versa. Hopefully, she knows I'm gonna take care of her clients, and because of this, we became a team to where now we're taking care of you, the client,
Right. Right. And
and
that's the thing.
that's the most
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. And Chia, one of the reasons why Chia's like my brother and whatnot, because it doesn't matter if the client comes from Chia or from me and whatnot, becomes our client. And our clients typically become our family. And we take care of family here.
Yeah, like I would never want my mom or any of my family members to go through anything tragic like that, or the least have buyer remorse.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's so important, and that is why we pair you up, clients, to our preferred lenders or our preferred agents, because we already know it's gonna work out. But when not to say that it's not going to work with it's a different agent and a different lender working together and being paired by the client. Not that that's not going to work. I've done that plenty of times. But there are higher chances of the teamwork not being there. And it's going to ultimately hurt you as the client more. And when that happens, like, man, like that would suck. I would hate for anybody to go through that. And that's just something I don't ever want anybody to see or go through personally, because I've seen that happen before. I've heard about it happening before. There's people that call me and say, Chia, this happened. What are we going to do? And when it gets to that point, it's kind of too late, when you're asking for help. Like, there's been plenty of times where I'll have my preferred lenders bail out or save a transaction for a buyer because that buyer went with another lender and did not want to go with our preferred, and things went sideways, and that lender went sideways and couldn't perform, but they already lost money invested in the inspections, the appraisals, the time, and then they don't have nothing to show for it. I mean, that's ridiculous. So because of that, like, I've got into situations where some of my preferred lenders jumped in and got the deal closed, and we were able to save the deal,
Yeah.
and so we don't ever want that happening to any of our clients at all. So that's why we preach about it, and that's why we talk about that all the time. That's why we don't want to sugarcoat nothing. We're gonna tell you
Yeah.
everything you need to know up front, so that way there's no surprises, right, Lisa?
Absolutely, guys. I hope that this was a good takeaway for everybody. And again, if you have any questions, and I'm new to this, so if you feel like I need to do anything different, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to accommodate.
Yeah, so that's a wrap. We're a little bit over 7 o'clock. We want to honor all your time. Maybe you guys already made plans with your friends and family. It is TGIF, so be safe out there. But if you guys are gonna be watching this on the replay, make sure you guys like, subscribe if you guys have not yet already. We are going to be doing this on a weekly basis. I will be putting up another poll just to see what time is more preferred, 6 or 7 on Fridays. And we'll go from there. Like, if you guys have more questions and you guys want to cover more topics next week, let us know in the comments. Let us know when I re-upload this live stream, and then we'll go from there. All right? But that's
All
it,
right.
y'all.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.